What's going on, everyone? I'm your host, Apog, the Jealous Eater, and welcome to the channel. Okay, so I know roughly a couple weeks ago now, we covered Karen and Kwa's new pregnancy announcement. We just kind of like discussed things. Now I know there was some Instagram story screenshots that I received or I got myself. I don't even remember how I got these screenshots. They're just here. But point being is that in the stream, we actually didn't cover any of these screenshots, and that's what I want to do today. Now, like I said, I know it's been a couple weeks since these were posted and the announcement, but I got a life outside this place, so I'm just kind of catching up now. So in this first screenshot, it says the final chapter, and I thought it was the final chapter of the YouTube channel, but go figure, Karen's pregnant again. I mean, who'd have thunk it? No one never guessed Karen would get pregnant, and I highly doubt that it's her last. Lots of questions. We're going to film a Q&A and answer them all, leave them here. So of course, they're going to do a Q&A. Go figure, they always do this when they get pregnant. Now, they have done Q&As before, pregnancy announcements and whatnot, but they always seem to fail. We always see Karen and Kwa asking people for questions for another Q&A, but they never actually produce a Q&A. And my little theory on that is because they never receive any actual questions or questions they really want to answer. I'm pretty sure the only ones asking any questions are the fetuses that watch them or justify their BS. And all they do is ask the same thing.
Are you pregnant yet, Karen?
Which is actually pretty messed up when you think about it because, Karen's a C-section mom and, she's apparently had all these issues with infertility and miscarriages, and her goons have no consideration for her or her health. They just want her to produce babies regardless of what happens to her. I mean, that's what it seems like. That's why they always ask her those questions. The obviously bigger question is if we're going to reveal the gender, and we will. We have to edit the video so I don't have a time frame. Okay, so first off, we all know that that's BS because we already know that they're going to push out a gender reveal. They did this Q&A, they did the announcement, they're going to do a birth vlog, what's in my hospital bag, all these other videos because they're predictable as hell. They're going to do it. They're going to clickbait this baby as much as they can because their channel is tanking, their views are low. So what do? They always pop out another baby and clickbait it and exploit it to the fullest degree. And Karen, you're not doing the editing. Kwa is. So quit acting like you have to do anything. You don't. All you get to do is take naps while Kwa watches all the kids because that's how it's always been and that's how it's always going to be. Still cannot believe this, LOL. Feels more real now though, for sure. Reading all your comments right now, been crying all week, thinking about posting, LOL. Such an emotional day. I don't know why this doesn't feel real to Karen because she just had a baby not that long ago and she's popped out babies just fine. We all know she lied about miscarriages and infertility, so what is she going on about here? I mean, she's just continuing the lie, which is why I continue exposing them and talking about them and talking about the situation. That's what kind of brought me back to talking about them. Is this garbage? And for everyone out there watching, let's note what Karen just said. She said that she's been crying all week thinking about posting her announcement, but later on states that her and Kwa thought about not ever announcing it to the world. And yet she was crying all week because she wanted to share it. Make it make sense. I started showing so fast, I feel like, with this baby since I was still 7 pounds heavier than my weight before having Hanson. Yeah, Karen, that's nothing new. I mean, do you remember this? Do you remember the fake baby belly? Because we all do. Chick looked 3 weeks pregnant and 2 weeks of pregnancy. My first ultrasound, I was measuring a week behind, so it gave me a scare. Oh God, Karen and her scares. I'm not trying to invalidate that because my son measured, some weeks behind and he ended up dying, but still, Karen always has some sort of a scare that's not really a scare, which her little scare was just her fault anyways. Keep in mind, I'd only had 2 periods after having Hanson. They were all over the place and very light, so I didn't even think I was ovulating, LOL. Yeah, so on top of Karen not giving her body any time to rest, I find it so funny. She talks about resting, like not watching a baby while she's pregnant, but after having 4 miscarriages and all her infertility, and she just had a healthy baby, which is great, but she just had a healthy baby and then 6 months later is pregnant again. She talks about resting, but she never gives her body time to rest from, the gaps in between her babies. The only one that really has a gap is Hanson and Sutton. The rest are just so cluttered together. She literally had them all in a short period of time. I mean, what? This is her 5th baby in like 6 to 7 years. That's not a good timeline. That's not a good stretch between babies for a C-section mother. And I don't doubt she had scar tissue. but I doubt her story about how she had scar tissue damage because look what she's doing now. She's had 2 babies after the fact of claiming that she needed surgery in order to sustain any further pregnancies, but never went in to get the surgery. On top of all that, she said her periods were being wacky. So, like, her hormones and her period and all that weren't even like back to normal somewhat. And she still got pregnant. And yes, it's her fault. And yes, it's Qua's fault too. They both need to be careful. They're both responsible. But you would think with people who had all the issues they did that they would take some sort of precautions, but go figure, they don't. I'll answer all of your questions in our Q&A, but one I just want to answer tonight is why we decided to not tell right away with this one. Well, my guess is it's just like last time, they took a break, but really didn't. I mean, they took a break from just like vlogging because they knew the future clickbait. They knew they were going to have lots of views coming. And, Quad doesn't want to vlog anymore. He's burned out on editing and all that noise. That's why they also recently hired an editor so that he doesn't have to do that legwork because he's burnt out on it. He doesn't want to do it anymore because they don't make the money that they did. But go figure, now that they're back with baby clickbait, all of a sudden they're going to start uploading again. This is like 2 + 2 people. It truly is. They did the same thing with Hanson. They rested for a month. They took a break for a month, claimed that Karen just wanted to rest and be stress-free. But during that month that she was off and during the time in between, she still vlogged everything and documented everything for planned clickbait until, Hanson was born. Obviously beyond that point as well, but it was just the pregnancy clickbait. They planned it all and they did it in the time they claimed that Karen needed a rest. And they're doing it again now. Honestly, I needed time to process. I'd thought maybe in the future we'd have an whoops and a fifth, and it wouldn't really be such a shock to me. I swear, man, these vlog moms did not finish schooling. They don't know how to spell, they don't have proper grammar, they can't even form actual sentences. It's insane to me that dummies like this get so far in life. But to be fair, it's not even on them, it's on their children because they built their brand and their name off the backs of their children and not them. But Karen, you needed time to process this baby, but not Hanson, the one after all the heartbreak, after all the 4 miscarriages and infertility. He's the damn miracle rainbow baby, not this one. But you didn't need any time to process that. I mean, oh, you took a month off. You announced them at 11 weeks before you're even in your 2nd trimester. I'm sorry, man. People who lose children aren't going to announce their baby to the world and document everything in between before the baby's even in the 2nd trimester. But they did it for money. So even if Karen's miscarriages and her struggle was true, which it's not, I've already proven that it's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm just making a point that even if it was true, they're still really, really messed up because they are still using it for their own benefit. And why is Karen acting like that this new baby was an oopsie baby? Like, maybe, sure, okay, I don't believe it. I believe Karen did it on purpose because that's Karen. That's what she does. She's not getting the same cloud, attention, and money and views and all that. Like, they are becoming pretty damn irrelevant if you ask me. But why is she acting as if this baby is their only oopsie baby? Don't they have multiple oopsie babies? Hanson wasn't supposed to happen either. So why didn't she process that one? I didn't imagine getting pregnant again so soon, especially after all the miscarriages before Hanson. I was terrified to be pregnant again. Yeah, that's why after being told that she needed surgery in order to sustain a pregnancy because her scar tissue damage was so bad, her adhesions, whatever, were so bad that she was losing babies and she could not sustain a pregnancy because of the scar tissue damage. So what does she do? She tries but doesn't try to have a baby and doesn't go in to get that surgery, no exams, nothing, never goes to a doctor once about it. Her damn diagnosis for her scar tissue was from a specialist over the phone from her kidney stone exams. That's not how that works. I mean, she confirmed that it wasn't her fallopian tubes, but never went in to confirm that because you have to do some sort of dye test to confirm that that's not the issue. Yet she never went in, but she confirmed that wasn't the issue, which she's just dumb. She's a liar and she didn't even back up her story at all. But that's also because she thinks her community is stupid. But hey, if you fall for this when it's right in your face, you are stupid. Now, I get that you could be naive and a little bit gullible, whatever, and you might fall for it if you just see one thing. But then when you see videos like this actually presenting evidence, and I have other videos that go way deeper, then, it's kind of like it's on you at that point. But yeah, she can go on and on and on about how terrified she was about getting pregnant. But, she literally was rolling the dice, basically asking for another miscarriage to happen, apparently, after being told that she couldn't have babies anymore. These are her words, not mine. Me and Qua, she should be saying Qua and I, were stressed, but obviously happy. Qual doesn't look happy. A baby is always seen as a blessing in my eyes. Yeah, that's why she, faked a bunch of dead ones. But I was very nervous, especially because I have had 4 C-sections and this one came so close. Yes, you got pregnant 6 months after Hanson was born. Cash Money was born, and 6 months down the road, you were pregnant again because you took no precautions. And aside from the miscarriage issues, that is horribly dangerous for Karen and horribly dangerous for another baby. Her and Qual should have been more careful. Now, I do believe Karen did it on purpose, kind of like behind Qual's back, but Qual has his role to play as well. So he also needs to take his own precautions and need to make sure that Karen is doing it as well. I mean, the dude literally said in their Q&A, which I will cover, but I'll just say it here real quick. He literally said that he thought Karen did it on purpose. Again, he has his own role to play, but imagine thinking that your partner would do this like behind your back. And yes, Karen is somebody like that because Karen needs attention and affirmations and she hasn't been getting it lately. And so what does it for her all the time is a new baby. And then once the clickbait stops, they're going to tumble again and watch a, 6 baby pop out. But it is really careless of Karen, careless Karen as we call her, but it's really careless that she's not taking these precautions because again, she's aware that she's a C-section mom. She's aware that she had scar tissue damage and adhesions, whatever, that affected her so badly that it gave her miscarriages. So she's having all these scar tissue issues with her body, apparently. And then 6 months after having Hanson, she gets pregnant again. This truly just does tell me that she's a liar because there's no way anyone with a brain or has gone through these issues would do something like that. But we are talking about Karen and Qual here, and they are, 2 peas in a pod, let me tell you. I was an emotional wreck for the first 12 weeks, and then I just enjoyed having this little secret so much. Me and Qual even thought about never announcing, but vlogging, it's just impossible to hide forever. Well, Karen, here's the thought. You've been through all these issues. You've had so much heartbreak, and it's something that you and Qual can share together. How about this? Don't vlog. Maybe just change up your content to where, nobody would notice. It's quite easy. You guys have full control over everything. This is your life. You don't owe anybody anything, right? Oh, but that mentality only applies when people question you. Also in the Q&A, and we'll go a little more deeper when we actually break that down. But Karen's lying here when she's talking about the first 12 weeks. She was an emotional wreck or whatever, spewing some nonsense about how her and Qual love sharing this little moment together before announcing. But here's the thing. In that Q&A, she literally says that her and Qual didn't talk for weeks about the pregnancy. So how'd you enjoy this little secret between you and him if you guys weren't even talking to each other? Y'all were keeping your feelings and whatnot a secret, like away from each other as well. And you guys are husband and wife. And we all damn well know that they're lying out their teeth when they claim that they almost thought about never announcing it. Bro, if you actually thought about that and you just still announced it anyways, like what? And then on top of that, like aside from that, you could have just like casually mentioned it on your Instagram. You didn't have to push it out on YouTube, made it this whole like theatrical video. No, you didn't have to do that, but that's what you did, which means you want to announce it. Chick said she was crying all week. Remember? She said she was crying all week in the other story in the other post because she wanted to share it so badly. And if you actually thought about not announcing, then why are you pushing out all these updates? Why are you pushing out Q&As? Why are you asking people for questions, outside comments, whatever? Why are you planning to push out all this content? It makes no sense at all if you thought about not announcing it. Because even if you did announce it in like a more casual way without theatrics and this whole thing, then that would be like acceptable, and then you just wouldn't really talk about it, and that could be a moment and something for you and Qual to have without sharing. But of course, you're going to exploit your child. That's just their MO. We've never just soaked in a pregnancy completely on our own before. We didn't tell any friends or family until recently, and it was the best decision for my mental health to process. Be stress-free, no outside comments, and have the most calm and collected environment for this baby to thrive. And I'm so happy with that decision, and it really has been the most enjoyable pregnancy mentally. It's quite odd because don't you think that Sutton would have been the most enjoyable pregnancy mentally because he's kind of the only one who doesn't have like heartbreak or struggle behind him. Jackson and Landon both had like a miscarriage or a chemical pregnancy behind them. Sutton didn't have anything behind him, but Hanson had the miscarriages and infertility, and you can also apply that to this new baby. So I think Sutton would have been the one who was the best mentally for a pregnancy. But I guess it's this baby, her periods are whack, her hormones are whack. She still has all the scar tissue. She has fresh scar tissue damage from just having Hanson. She got pregnant 6 months after having Hanson. Like all these things apply, miscarriages and infertility, like those things still exist. But this is stress-free. This is the most enjoyable pregnancy. This makes no sense for somebody who's gone through everything she did. Also, I just love how she does this like stress-free thing. She's kind of like trying to trickle away from the miscarriages a little bit. But even Even the infertility I've seen on sometimes, she's not mentioning it as much, but she does here and there. But what seems to be happening is she's trying to change up her story, trying to make it seem like stress was the bigger factor when it came to her miscarriages. But that's not what her story was. Again, it was scar tissue damage and adhesions. This was diagnosed to her by a specialist, apparently. But, I guess that's kind of like out the window now because she doesn't even mention that anymore. She doesn't. Also, you can't really soak anything in but just between you and Qual when you have a camera out ready to go. In the announcement, she had a camera out for when she revealed that she was pregnant to Qual. Like, that's not between you and him. Like, you're planning to put it out and tell other people. If it was actually just between you and Qual, your little secret, there wouldn't be that clip. There wouldn't be that video. They could have just talked in how they were pregnant on the video. They didn't have to have a reaction, but of course they have to have a reaction. They always do. It just doesn't make any sense how you believe that you and Qual had this little secret when you pull out a camera to record his reaction, thinking about other people, thinking about announcing it to the world. And wait a minute, Karen, you thought about not announcing it to the world, but the first thing you do before you even tell Qual about your pregnancy is whip out a camera planning on telling the world about the pregnancy, showing his reaction? That makes no sense at all. And as for the whole outside comments thing, it's like, I get that, but you're still only halfway, like roughly halfway through your pregnancy, Karen. You're still getting outside comments. In fact, you're asking for outside comments. What is going on? I highly recommend soaking in every moment with your significant other in privacy before announcing to the world. If you do social media or don't. Well, again, you didn't really soak it in when you had a camera out for his reaction. And on top of that, you didn't tell your friends and family for however long, but you still filmed their reaction. Come on, man. I just, mind blown. Me and Qual and I would lay in bed all night and just talk about everything together for hours. And that truly helped me so much get through the anxiety I had. No, that did not happen. We know for damn sure that if you hear these people talk on the vlogs or on the podcast or just in general, that they don't know anything about each other. They don't talk to each other. They even said they thrive without each other when they're not near each other. And remember, in the Q&A, Karen stated that her and Qual didn't talk for weeks, but apparently they laid in bed every single night and talked for hours. No, like the math's not math in here. But let's just say that they actually did that. So laying in bed with Qual helped your anxiety. But being told that you needed surgery by a specialist after having all your issues, saying that you need surgery and you going in and getting exams and everything you needed to do to be okay, like mentally for a pregnancy, you avoided all that. But that didn't give you any anxiety. I mean, one would think that Karen going in to see an actual doctor for once would be very helpful for her anxiety. But apparently, just laying in bed with Qual just completely eliminated all her struggles. And, she was stress free, even though when you lose a baby and you're pregnant, you're never stress free. But all of a sudden now, it's like all her struggles just vanished into thin air. Qual is my rock, and I truly do not know what I'd do without him. He also got up with Hanson every single night so my body could rest. Okay, so first off, let's stop praising men for doing the bare minimum. That is his child. He should be doing that anyways. And honestly, when you think about it, if she's praising him for watching his own child, then that kind of implies that he doesn't do it enough or at all. Oh, but apparently Karen needs rest from taking care of a baby, right? Apparently that's too strenuous. But during her little miscarriage fiasco, while she was literally pregnant, she was still getting drunk and going around on jet skis. And she knew she was pregnant at the time and then miscarried later on. So my guess is if her story is actually true, it is her fault she miscarried. But it's not true. So don't come at me. Job every night so my body could rest and be in tip-top shape to grow this little baby. And I cry every day because I'm so incredibly lucky to have Qual as my person and to be growing this big ass family with him. Couldn't ask for anything better. And that's why Karen has emasculated Qual in the vlog several times already. I am exhausted though. I feel dizzy after sharing huge news on social media, trying to read all the comments and post all the updates and all the questions. So I'm gonna go to bed and we will post the gender tomorrow. I'm not cruel. I won't hold on to it. Yeah, so Karen, it's your own baby. You almost thought not announcing it, but you don't want to be cruel to random people that you don't know because they want to know the gender of your baby. But you don't owe anyone anything, right? Also, she feels tired and dizzy. She's exhausted after sharing such huge news, right? Bro's feeling dizzy reading all the comments. Yet she wants to be stress-free. She doesn't want any outside comments. She wants to rest. but she's still posting it online for money. If you're feeling dizzy, especially after all the issues you've had before, then maybe you should get offline. There's no vlog today or Wednesday because we planned on announcing the pregnancy today and the gender on Wednesday, but I got too anxious to announce it early. New vlog Friday, we're filming the pregnancy Q&A tomorrow. Any last minute questions, we are uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you missed that update too. Oh, so now they have a schedule. Now they got a routine for their vlog since they got an editor and they're having a new baby, you know, because they thought about not announcing it. But after the announcement, they have planned content and they have a schedule. Doesn't make any sense. I know I keep saying that, but it like truly doesn't. Also, look what she just said. They announced the pregnancy early, but they almost thought about never announcing it and wanting to keep the secret to themselves. But she got too anxious about posting it. I cannot with these two. They make no sense. They contradict every sentence they spew.